The Ashes of the Betrayed. Book 1 The Curse. Chapter 1 The Awakening. Part 1 of 5. The Sternenlicht mansion loomed like a specter of carved stone and timber against Nordenlicht's night sky. Its spired towers, dusted with the region's signature snow, light and glittering, pierced the low-hanging clouds that perpetually clung to the Norn mountains. The stained-glass windows, usually aglow with the warm light of moon oil lamps, stood dark tonight, like eyes squeezing shut against the horror unfolding within. Lina Sternenlicht, the lone 14-year-old daughter of the house, pushed herself up in bed, sweeping tangled ebony hair from her face. Her violet eyes, the same sharp shade as her mother's, adjusted to the gloom. Something was wrong. It wasn't just the unnatural silence. Nordenlicht's nights were never silent. There was always the creak of snow against the panes, the whisper of wind through stone gargoyles. This silence was different, deeper. A shiver traced her spine like an icy finger dragging across her skin. Barefoot, she rose, the obsidian tiles biting into her soles. Her white linen nightgown, embroidered with silver thread constellations, brushed her ankles as she crept to the door. From the hallway, voices spilled out of the grand hall below. "You cannot do this, Adriano." Her mother's voice, Elara Montraum's, was melodic even in anger, but tonight, it trembled like an overstrung harp. Lina held her breath and slipped onto the upper balcony overlooking the hall. There she became the sole witness to a macabre scene. Her father, Alaric Sternenlicht, stood by the stone hearth, his tall frame draped in a hardened leather travel cloak. His chestnut hair, graying at the temples, was tied back in a hastily loosened tail. His gray eyes, usually calm with scholarly detachment, now flickered with alarm. In his right hand hung Damarung, its silver blade raised, not as the fierce weapon of 1,000 battles, but as if forced into reluctant witness. Opposite him stood Elara Montraum, the living image of a moon goddess. Her waist-length silver hair floated as if caught in an unseen breeze. From her outstretched hands, slender and ringed in silver, danced sparks of blue light. And then there was him. Adriano Vescari. The man Lina remembered as a gentle, warm presence in her childhood. The one who'd taught her to ride, who sneaked her honey cardamom candies from his southern travels. Now he was a blurred shadow of himself. His usually immaculate black hair hung disheveled over his forehead. His once expressive face had hardened. But it was his eyes that froze her blood. Two voids. Two fires. Where warm amber had once gleamed, the color of sunset on the sea, there was only red. "I'm sorry, Elara," Adriano said, his voice soft, almost tender, as if confessing unrequited love rather than betrayal. "There is no other way now." As he spoke, Lina saw the dagger in his hand. She had never seen a weapon like it. Black. Not the dull black of iron, but a light-devouring void, as if carved from a fragment of night itself. Runes along the blade twisted under the firelight. "You don't have to do this." Alaric's voice was that of a man soothing a cornered animal. "The artifact is sealed for a reason, even you couldn't control it." Adriano let out a hollow sound, not quite laughter, that echoed off the stone walls. "Control it?" He tilted his head, and for the first time, Lina saw madness in him. Not fury. Not despair. Just the stillness of a man who had lost something irrecoverable. "I don't want to control it, Alaric. I want to destroy it, and all it stands for." Elara jerked her hands. The air thickened. Iron chandeliers swayed without wind. "Lina." A whisper behind her. Freya Wokenhairs, her best friend since they were 5, knelt in the doorway. Her autumn leaf red hair was half-braided, her freckles stark against her pallor. In her small hands, usually more suited to books than blades, was a hunting knife. "We have to go. Now," Freya urged, her voice shaking. Lina opened her mouth to protest. Then everything happened too fast. Adriano moved, not like a man, but like a shadow cast by a guttering flame. Alaric raised his sword, too slow. The black dagger plunged into his chest with a wet thud, like an axe splitting rotten meat. Elara screamed toward the air. Light. Too much light. The hall erupted in blue fire. Lina flinched away. When she looked back, Elara knelt over Alaric's motionless body, her bloodied hands pressing his wound. Adriano stood above them, the dagger dripping black. "Mama?" The cry tore from Lina before she could stop it. Adriano turned. Their eyes met in the shadows. For a second, something fractured in his face, something like pain. Then Elara lifted a hand. A silver bolt struck Adriano's chest, throwing him back. "Run," her mother screamed. Freya yanked Lina's arm. "We have to go, now." Lina didn't want to go. She wanted to leap from the balcony, claw at that face so like her father's, scream until her voice shattered. But her legs were already moving. She ran, through halls, down service stairs toward the stables. An endless path. Desperation. Behind them, shattering glass, splintering wood, the roar of wind. Then the crash. Mid-flight, the grand hall's ceiling collapsed. Lina felt the impact in her chest before she heard it. A sharp pain, as if a piece of her soul had been ripped away. She staggered, gasping. Freya pulled her arm. "Don't stop," but Lina knew. Her parents were dead. She felt it. No doubt remained. When she looked back at the smoldering ruins of her home, she saw Adriano's silhouette, wreathed in violet flame. He didn't chase. Didn't shout. Just turned his head toward her. As if he already knew this wasn't the end. Then the night swallowed Nordenlicht whole. The aftermath. The Sternenlicht house, once proud among the Norn peaks, was now a skeleton of blackened stone and twisted beams. Ravenous flames licked the remains of silk tapestries embroidered with lunar runes, reducing them to ash that floated like dirty snow. The towers, silent sentinels, had crumbled inward. Their shattered stained glass lay scattered across the snow. Deep blues, violets, faded greens like moss from forbidden forests. The white marble staircase, now soot-stained and cracked, looked as though a wrathful god had dragged bloody fingers down its length. Among the debris, fragments of a shattered life. The half-finished bead necklace Lina and Freya had left behind. Alaric's prized mechanical clock, its gears melted into a grotesque lump. Elara's mirror, its surface splintered, reflecting only fire and night, like an eye blinded by pain. And over it all, silence. Not the silence of peace. The silence of a wound that hasn't finished bleeding. In silence, the ashes whispered spells to keep their secrets hidden for 1,000 years. Or so we'd hoped. If you'd like to support my work, feel free to subscribe and share this with your friends. You can also find links to my Patreon and Ko-Fi on my YouTube channel. Thanks for listening.